Vénganse, vénganse. Vamos a jugar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a cantar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a llorar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a fumar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a jugar hoy, hoy, hoy.
You remember the song?
Yes. Hey, friends. We're on this frequency. I'm Natalie.
I'm Rickie.
Are you sure?
Yes.
And we got Raymond Andrew.
Sorry.
Hey, what's your Wi-Fi password? Why can't I get in here?
It's
Well,
You don't gotta tell me right now.
to the top one. Is it one? Is there a one on the to the top?
To the
But
top.
the T is capitalized on two.
Okay, you see when you start on time and then you forget half of the things that you have to be prepared for. My bad, you guys. My bad.
Did you
It's that
introduce
kind of Friday.
Ray?
Yeah.
kind of.
Well, welcome, Ray.
Well, she introduced me the same way you introduced yourself.
Okay. Got it.
We just kind
It's
of
one
went
of those
in.
days.
It
It's
is.
one of those days.
It's one
One of those days. I love that song by
Okay.
Monica. It was such a depressing song, but it was good.
So
It was
good.
good because I feel like it's every those days for women.
It never fails. Hey, oh, and by the way, happy Women's
Day.
Month. All right, we've set the tone for the rest of the episode. This is gonna be good. This is gonna be good.
Well, it is. There's days in a month, so
Yeah,
every day it's gonna be Women's Day for 1 month.
yeah, yeah.
30
All right,
days.
All right. So, what do we got today? What do we got?
I don't think we got any.
gotta go.
Ricky Lee, how was Fast and the Furious?
Oh yeah, did you like it? Look, your jumpsuit is giving me complete Fast and the Furious vibes. I think you did this on purpose.
Yeah. I just need to hand you a wrench.
Look, I'm gonna watch it. I'm just gonna watch the first one, but I said I would. I just haven't had time.
So you never watched the first one either?
No,
Oh,
I haven't watched any of them.
what?
I have zero desire, like the same way the same way Ray felt about animation.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about the Fast and the Furious.
Okay, so after our recording on Friday, I went home and I watched Fast and the Furious 9 or whatever the one where they go
9.
to space. Okay,
9. God, wait, did you just say they went to space?
They went
Yeah,
to
they went to
space.
space.
They went to fucking space. This is
you
how.
you have to watch all of them to see why they end up where they're at. Not because there's like some type of cool ass storyline. In actuality, they're just running out of fucking things to do.
Yeah. Keep
I'm-
us
Stop
alive.
doing them.
I'm surprised. So Jason Momoa is actually going to be in the next one.
No.
I won't be surprised if they made him Aquaman.
You know what? Like they have a lot of, and Mike was saying, like, how do they have all of these good artists in this shitty ass
Because
movie
it
series?
makes
Money.
It's
It's a moneymaker.
a money pit for them.
Yeah.
That's why I don't watch it.
But listen, Michelle Rodriguez.
She's cute.
Michelle Rodriguez.
Betty?
I am a fan. I love her. I am obsessed.
Okay,
She's
so let me
beautiful.
ask you this. Would you recommend the entire Fast and the Furious movie seasons, whatever, to the women for Women's Month?
No,
Because
not at
you were
all.
just no. 'Cause you were
Okay, for Women's Month, I will recommend number 3 because of the pink car, the girl in the pink car.
Oh.
That's when they go back.
How completely general is that? Oh, let's do the pink car.
But you know what? So this
and
is
women
It
love
just works.
pink.
So
It just works.
you. This is how I know like she has like actual hatred for the franchise.
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
do.
But the thing you gotta understand is we don't watch it because it's like the best movie with the best. Like
Oh, yeah, I
if
get
your
that.
if your intention to go in there is be like I'm gonna pick apart like you're gonna
No,
be
no,
able to
no,
pick
no.
everything apart. But
'Cause
that's how all the movies are. All the movies are like, oh yeah, I couldn't have seen that one coming. It's kind of like Rocky. You already know what's gonna happen. in
How
every
many
type of-
movies are there for Rocky?
Well,
Just
there's
as many.
there's 6, and then there's like all the extras, like so all the extra creeds and the Balboa and all
But
that. So
look,
there's probably like 8 or 9. Yeah.
of the Rockies?
Mm-hmm. Well,
There you have it.
Rocky itself is, I believe, 6, and then there's Balboa, and then you have the creeds.
Oh God. Okay, but so But that's not how the Fast and the Furious thing works. That franchise. There's not like movies after movies like you were explaining with.
Like a prequel and a sequel and
they're like
branches.
Like Rocky has a storyline, and each one feeds off of the last one. I would say with Fast and the Furious, the only thing that they feed off of is just the character. So like if you try to watch like number 8, right, or number 7, and you're like, well, where did this person come from? Like you'd have to watch all the other ones to know which ones they were in.
Yeah.
Like one of the ones I hate the most is Tokyo Drift.
Oh, me too.
Wait, you don't like Tokyo Drift?
That
Can't
one
stand
should have been
Tokyo
garbage. That should have never been produced.
It doesn't have Paul Walker, and at the very, very end is when they have Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
So
Fast
it's
and Furious
basically
unite.
like
Yeah.
I think that they were just like, oh, let's try this, and they realized it didn't work,
Yeah.
and then they're like, all right, let's go back to what we had.
Yeah, it didn't work. So for me, I would recommend anyone to watch number 1, number 2, 3, and 7.
Which one's the one The Rock came out in? Was it 7 or 6?
Oh shit! I don't know. I didn't think he came out in 6.
Maybe it was 7 then.
I don't know.
You know what I know? That I'm not going to watch 6 and 7. I'm only committing to 1.
You're committing to 1 through. Are we double dating? We got a triple date for the new one. Find a little something on the side or something for the day.
What do you mean a new one?
They're coming out with the one in, was it May?
Stop it.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
Stop
There's another
it.
one. So we're gonna go
It
watch
was
it.
going to be
Hold
10?
on. Wait a second. This is how I know you're not listening right now.
No.
So I'm gonna need you to compose
I'm a
yourself.
little
Come back in.
relaxed right now.
Because I just said Jason Momoa is gonna be in the new one.
Oh, Aquaman. Yes. You
Yeah.
did say that. I
Yeah.
do remember
So
that.
that Mike and yourself, myself and Samantha Rochelle, which Samantha will probably text you like, I don't like. We've gone to I think practically every one. We've gone to.
So
the
she
theater.
doesn't like it, but she goes.
No, she likes it.
Oh, okay.
Come on, and like I don't for the same thing though. It's not.
We've
You're not
committed.
going
We're
yet.
this far.
You're not the one. You're not going because it's like a romantic, the best romance, the best. There's nothing.
It's like Star Wars, right?
It's just dumb, to be honest. Like, it's
It
that
really
cool dumb.
is.
I get it. All
It
right,
really
fine.
is.
Why do you think we were so excited to be like, oh my god, you too, me
Yes.
too?
Yeah. We had a moment. We had a moment.
Yeah, we carried into the thread, by the way. Which thank you, Ricky Lee, for shooting that Vin Diesel back at us. In the
Yes, you're in.
See, I was
Yeah.
considerate. I was thinking,
Yeah.
how could I just?
You have his attitude about the way this franchise is. That you are the Vin Diesel.
You're the Vin Diesel.
I
That's
don't
why
know
you
if that's
wore
a
that.
good thing or a bad thing.
That's exactly why you wore that little jumpsuit right there.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I love it.
Because she couldn't walk in here with the wife beater on. That would have been.
I could rock a good wife beater.
No.
But no.
Mr.
Oh,
Rodriguez
sorry.
does
I don't
it.
know your inside secrets with the characters, okay? I'm just taking your word for it.
There are
Listen.
no inside secrets.
No,
If
there
you
really
watched
aren't.
it.
Yeah.
I told you I'm going to give you one. But so then you watched Up?
I did watch Up. I told you, and I even told you to leave me alone because after I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna watch it,"
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
She keeps texting me, and then
And
her,
Samantha
and then
too.
her, like in the middle of me watching it, then she texts like me and Samantha in the group,
Yeah.
and I literally had to be like, "Shush, I'm trying to watch the movie." Like,
So she's interrupting.
oh,
So she's the commentator.
Because I was asking Samantha.
during
And
a
for
movie.
those of you just like tuning in, Ray, we discovered last week
Yeah.
that Ray doesn't care for animation.
Right.
Zero palette
you know
for
what?
it.
Actually, I was thinking about that earlier today because my little sister texted me and Samantha earlier, and she was wanting to hang out with the kids during spring break. But my sister and I we're 10 years apart, so
it's
I
a
was
nice
just
gap.
like,
Yeah.
I started thinking like, what cartoons did I watch? Because like I said, I was never up on The Simpsons like everybody else, right? So I was just like, I used to watch Rocket Power.
Oh, Wiggly, Wiggly. Yeah. Rocket
I have
Power.
no idea what you guys are talking about. Rocket Power, that
Yeah.
wiggly wiggly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rocket Power was the kids were
They were like skateboarders.
hockey.
Yeah, they did like all these extreme sports.
Yeah.
This is totally like a octopus movement.
No, yeah, and then like their greeting was they would come to each other wiggly wiggly or something like
Yeah.
that. They would do wiggly wiggly
That's
wiggly.
terrible.
My little
Or
and I
wiggly
remember
wiggly
that
or
because
something.
my little sister actually bought me Rocket Power socks. So
Oh,
with
cool. That's cool.
And there's a character in there named Otto, by the way.
remember
OTTO?
that.
I don't know, but
AUTO?
I don't know if he's the main character. He's one of the characters. His name's Otto.
I don't
Jody,
remember
you're
that
in this
much, but
book now?
Jody's everywhere.
Yeah, that's you. that she is. Okay, but so that was your
good.
thing. Did you want to cry?
No.
You didn't even have just a little tingly like, oh, this hurts.
I only cried when Paul Walker died.
Again, to my point.
I did too, though. Rest in peace, Paul Walker. I hope you're doing well, man.
He's looking down on us. He's happy for us.
Yeah.
He's not.
Yeah.
He's not too happy with
Ricky.
Ricky right now.
I'm gonna give you the one movie. I said I would. I'm gonna squeeze it in there.
And that's enough.
After,
Okay.
yoga,
That's
after
fair.
yoga tomorrow.
So here's the
I'll
thing.
watch it.
Here's the thing. For every movie you recommend that I watch, you have to watch
The other movie.
the next Fast and the Furious
Yeah.
series.
That's fine.
I like that.
I can
No.
commit to that.
No, you can't, because I would say like in the last 2 weeks you've sent me almost all of Netflix's
Oh, that's
documentary series.
Okay. So I'm sorry, I didn't understand. That sucks. And fine, I will commit to that because I'll send him like, oh, you gotta watch this, and be like, but have you watched this?
Yeah.
And it's all good, like
Yeah.
everything that we've been exchanging back and forth.
And then Samantha has like her. She loves watching like the trials, like the actual live trials.
Oh, so do I.
So
Yeah.
she'll go like on Court TV and
She's
like,
watching.
yeah, so she'll
She's been
tell me
watching.
like, well, you know, this is what really happened in this, or like, oh shit. So it's like we're watching it as Netflix folk, but she's watching like
The actual thing. So like the Murdoch
murders.
ones
Yeah,
that
one.
just happened.
Such
So
a
she's
good
been
one.
in it.
Mm-hmm.
I need to tune in. I have no idea what happened, what's happening.
It's
All I know
about
is
white
that the guy
it's not
murdered
about
the
white power, it's
husband
about
or the
greed.
wife.
the same thing. I
Just
guess.
about white power.
Okay, I'm gonna tune in.
It's scary.
I'm in.
It's
It is.
scary.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Only because it does bring that fear aspect for when you don't realize like who's around and you don't know who it is and how much power they can actually have.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
It's always the white man.
So you got to be careful with your surroundings. Is that what you're telling me?
That too.
Yeah.
That too.
We live in an evil world.
But you know,
You need it.
I've had this conversation recently with a few people, and one of the things that like kind of triggered this thought for me was, I don't know if I was taking Samantha to work or I was taking the kids to school, but this kid was on his phone from one end of the sidewalk, crossing the street to the other side.
Okay.
He didn't care that there were people waiting for him to go
cross.
past. But then too, like my thought process went further, understanding like someone could just come fucking snatch him, and he's so indulged in his phone right now.
How old?
Oh,
Did
he
you
had to
say he was?
be. I would say maybe middle school, maybe.
Oh,
I don't know. But then too, there's that video recently on Instagram where that girl's in the gym, and she's working out, and then that dude ends up like coming towards her, and then she runs. So like, there's cameras in the gym, so you could see it.
Oh hell no!
But then she's like
Fuck
running away
no.
from him, and he's trying to like get her and shit.
Hell
Welcome to
no.
Women's Month.
But see, but that's one of those things where I don't think she was really on her phone. But one of the things that I do notice when women go out, like, and obviously
like
it's today's society, right? You have to post
Not me
when you're
anymore.
at the gym or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it's just like, all right, post it, leave it alone, and pay attention to your surroundings. You don't
Yeah.
know what's around and
51st.
who's out there, and that like that whole Murdoch murder is like you don't know, like,
Who's watching you?
because even his friends were cool.
They all fucking helped each other out. They were all in
They-
this
they-
dark circle of
Okay,
Well,
don't spoil it. I want to watch
mysteries
it.
and money.
It's good,
Okay,
It's good.
I'm gonna watch it.
but not one of his friends was there to like say, "Oh no, he didn't do it." Like they actually,
They had his back.
no, they didn't.
Oh, okay.
Especially
Rather
his
not.
best friend, because his best friend of the girl who passed away, that was his girlfriend.
That was his best friend.
Mm-hmm. The big
shit.
dude with the beard, that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
his best friend.
Oh damn.
Okay, stop. Because I want to watch it.
Yeah, go watch
I want to
it.
watch it. But it's
But
true.
Up was
People-
amazing
Okay, good. I'm glad that you enjoyed that.
because
one.
you sent the thing to say, well,
Well, just watch the 4 minutes, the beginning scene of
Yeah, but I
Up.
was like, you know what? The kids are watching iCarly. I'll just watch Up
iCarly's
Wait,
still
your kids
on?
are watching iCarly?
on Netflix.
Really?
But
I didn't
like
even
the
know that was out.
original?
Yeah,
there's
right?
no new ones.
I thought they may have done like
Like a
an
reboot or
adult,
something?
whatever.
know.
Wait, that's interesting because your kids are younger. Didn't that come out like a long ass time ago?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
why it's
like
on Netflix.
2000s. Wow, interesting. I
Yeah.
heard that one, the the character, the blonde girl, has a book. I'm glad that
I
my
read
mom
her.
died.
Oh.
I
Was
read
it
the
good?
book. I'm glad that you. Yeah, something like I'm glad that my mom died.
Oh, yeah, she had a troubled past, right? Or like a troubled childhood or something like that.
The whole
No
book
idea.
is about her relationship with her mother and how her mother really, really messed her up and really forced her to get into acting at a very young age. Controlled how she ate. Was giving her was bathing her at 16 years old
Ooh, that sounds like.
with the brother at the same time.
Oh God, no.
Who was a little bit older than her.
That's disturbing.
When
That's
I
really
read that
disturbing.
part of it, I was like, damn, I didn't even see it going there.
Ooh,
But
I'm gonna
she
have to
had
watch
no
that.
idea that was wrong.
No, because
That was the problem. That's all you knew. So you thought this was normal.
Yeah,
It was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I'm
It
gonna have to
sucked.
watch it
Well,
Read it.
again,
or
like,
read it. I'm sorry. Yeah.
like Natalie said, welcome to Women's Month.
No, or what? No, what Amy?
God, we're
Ellie
right.
Amy's comment who says Women's Month equals constant hypervigilance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah, I'm for sure that way. I'm always looking at my surroundings. There was a time, and not recently, but there was a time in my Instagram life where I used to put my location or go
Oh, shit, I
checking
need to
in or
make sure
whatever.
that
I don't do
Hell
that no
yeah.
more. I haven't done that in the last couple of years because
Latergram it. Fuck.
people are fucking nuts. You don't need to know where I'm at. You don't need to know where I live or my local Target. No.
And it could be someone you don't even know, like no one
Yes.
even in your circle, just someone that like is strolling through the gram. It's like,
She's cute.
I like her.
Yeah, let me see if I can figure out where she goes, how often she goes there, so I can cross paths with her. It's like that, the Netflix series You. Hell no.
That shit's scary too.
Have you seen the
Yes.
new episode?
I
New
have,
episodes?
I have, but I haven't been able to
they
get
new?
into them.
Yeah, they
there's
just
new
dropped
ones.
the first 5 of the next season, and then I think in a couple weeks they're gonna drop the next 5.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's ironic how he's not. He's
Now
not really.
he's being chased, right?
Yeah, he's not playing who he was. He's actually trying not to be who he was in the
yeah,
other
yeah.
episodes
Yeah.
or the other seasons. So it's just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And man, shout out to the writers because even in all that of him doing what he was doing in the past seasons, you were still rooting for him.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
you want
now-
him to be good.
Yeah, and so now in this one, it's just like,
You're
man, I
fucked.
really have to root for you because it's like, dude,
They
it's not even
committed
your
you.
fault. Like you're
Yeah.
a changed man.
Yeah. Yeah. And
It's a
this-
trip.
Shouts out to the writers then.
Yeah,
That's a really
like they know how to be able to hold that dynamic throughout different seasons and different.
yeah.
that's
That's been a really good show so far. It hasn't let me down, but I haven't been able to catch up to whatever the current situation is with him because child,
You know what doesn't let me down and always wins my heart? The best series on the planet, The Crown.
I can't.
It's like a blanket when I'm, sad or
cradles you at
tired.
night.
I just put The Crown on. I love their English accents.
Does it make you feel better about yourself?
No.
It makes you feel worse.
I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
The life that they live.
Lush.
but
The lush life.
There's an article. It wasn't in any of the series, but there's an article that read that Prince Charles was like writing something, crumbled up the paper, threw it away, missed the basket, right, and then called the guy who his whatever person that cleans everything to come pick up the piece of paper that he had dropped on the floor to put it in the trash.
No.
So I watched. Samantha got me to watch that one with his son and Meghan
Harry
Markle.
and Meghan
Yeah, right.
watched all that too.
One thing that kind of like with you saying that, how like he had that dude do something for him. That's just like that. It's kind of rude.
Yeah, a little.
But that's what's expected.
But here's the
The
thing.
power.
The one thing that was mentioned when it came to his son and his wife was that they're only that way because the community allows them to be that way in the sense of they pay for all their shit.
Yeah.
All their money comes from the people.
Well, old historic money too. But yeah, the people keep pumping into
And
all of that.
and that was kind of like the whole thing of why the media, like their media, because have you seen how their media is? Like their
yes.
media looks like the branches of the government. Like it's like boom, 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 and
media.
and so they all move a certain way. So that's why I was just like, for him to think that he can do that, obviously he can.
Right.
But it's just like, bro, you really need to slow your
He
roll
coulda
because technically, all these people could come and just do that to you, in a sense, right?
But could you imagine waking up in the morning because you're being woken up by someone just opening the curtains so the easy light sun can come
wash
through.
your ass.
Yeah.
At the right
and then
time.
and then you get up,
True.
right? And they already have like your tea ready, like everything's bedside happening.
Yeah.
And you just get dressed in life. Like your whole life is just someone dressing you comfortably in a jumpsuit.
Would you want that?
No.
I would want breakfast in the morning. I would love to wake up and my dad, when we go to my dad's house in Ensenada, we wake up, come downstairs, and there's fresh fruit.
Yeah. Oh, they
And
have a
there's-
housekeeper.
They have a housekeeper.
really?
Yeah. Coffee's ready.
And that's like custom. That's like a
That's
thing.
a thing.
Yeah. It's
That's
not
so-
just
that's what
because
I would like
it's a
that.
lush life. It's just they have it.
I would like that.
I would like that. That I would like. I don't need anyone to wash my ass or change my underwear or brush my teeth, but I would like breakfast in the morning.
And then walk
and then
out of the
do
house.
my bed. Yeah.
Walk out of the house because you eat and go
Yeah.
comfortably. You get to talk with your kids. Like
Yeah, but most of them don't. Most of them don't just leave and go. Most of them, when they leave, they have someone waiting for them outside to tell them where they got to go.
true.
So it almost becomes like a whole thing of like you let your whole like your life, you just let them control your life for you in a sense.
That reminds me of Ike and Tina Turner. I just finished reading Tina Turner's biography. It talks about how she
She was abused, right? Like she was
my-
physically
if
abused
you
by
have
her
not watched,
spouses
have
or spouse. I don't know
you
how many
seen
she
this?
has, but
What's love?
What's Love Got to Do with it?
Yeah.
Oh my God,
sad life.
it sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah.
She has an incredible story. Watch it. But I've just finished her.
Autobiography.
But why was I bringing that up?
It
What
reminded
did
you,
Ray say before this?
The lush life.
Control.
Housekeeping.
Oh, control. Yeah, because I was thinking about Ike and Tina Turner.
Because she was controlled.
Yes.
That's a different type of control.
Yeah, I know. It's totally different.
Yeah.
But she ended up, Tina Turner, her second marriage was to someone who worked in the music industry. And he was like 20 years younger than her.
Oh, and he was beating her?
No,
Or-
the second husband treated her like royalty.
Oh, God.
And she got married like at 50.
Oh.
Like older. She was older. They have a very interesting story.
And they're still together?
Yep.
And that worked out. I mean,
And they live in Europe.
Wow.
I do like that.
That's a good. They should like redo that whole story.
The Ike and Tina Turner story?
Yeah.
She kind of says that in the book. She wasn't necessarily satisfied with the way some of the scenes played out.
Well, they had to dramatize it. Like it was VH1 that put it out, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So back then, VH1 used to do like all the good like music documentaries.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah,
and
you're right.
they had their way of producing and
Putting the story
putting
out.
it out in a certain way.
Oh. Wow.
But she actually didn't watch the whole movie. She only saw certain pieces of it because she couldn't. She goes, "Why would I watch what I lived?
yeah, I don't want
I
to
don't wanna-
relive this.
I don't want to relive this."
But I think it would be dope to redo it, maybe in a more cautious manner that she would approve, but also uncover like the after of all that, because I don't think they really did like show like, well, this is where she's at now. Like because I think at love story wise, I think that's pretty dope that she's actually like
Thriving.
thriving, because there's a lot of women that they go through what they go through, and that just
Yes,
goes
you're right.
on and on and on. And the fact that she was able to,
Yeah.
and granted, we don't know how long it took for her to bring that wall down to let that man in to give her like that new light of love. But most women, they don't flourish.
Did you say men give a light
It's a
of love?
cycle. That
No,
man.
that man,
Her man.
her current man.
Oh,
Ricky's about to go in a different direction.
Yeah. Ricky's in this fuck men.
It's the jumpsuit. It's the jumpsuit.
not at all. I love men. I do.
Purple is the new black.
But I did actually want to talk about that because I text you guys this week and I was like, yo, I have an epiphany.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I got something that really connected with me, right? And I guess it's about love, right? I read this. I was watching an interview on Ana Gabriel, and Ana Gabriel, oh gosh, you would call her she's a pop female Mexican icon.
Yeah. To me, growing up and listening to her, she was the Vicente Fernandez version.
The female version.
In the female
of
form.
Chente.
Yeah.
So I'd known of her music, but I wasn't like a hardcore enthusiast. None of that. But I was aware of her music.
Yeah.
So a friend of mine invited me to go see her in concert. So I wanted to kind of freshen up on things and whatnot. So she, Ana Gabriel, I don't think ever got married. She's very private about her sexuality and just very private.
Okay.
And people have assumed that she was actually a lesbian.
Oh.
And if you look on Wikipedia, it says that she is asexual.
Okay.
So there's all kinds of things related to that. So she is talking to Vicky Castro and she tells her, you know what? I'm aggressive. I'm an aggressive person. But I have so much tenderness inside of me, so much tenderness that I've guarded it so much and I'm protecting it so much because I don't want anyone to access that. She goes, but it's made me a bitter person. And it comes through with my like being aggressive. But it was weird how when she said she was aggressive, it was a very confident. I connected.
Like she's cool with it.
Yeah, she's cool with it because she knows who she is and how she is, but she also knows where it comes from. So man, I reflected on that so much because I don't think I've ever really accessed that light or that place of tenderness, and I'm terrified of it. Right? I'm like scared.
Right.
But so we saw her in concert yesterday.
Yeah.
This is the other part that fucking blew my mind. So we had like VIP tickets. We show up at 5:30. We were quite early.
Okay.
And I see these two ladies, two señoras.
Okay.
They're booking it. They want to get somewhere on time. And I'm like, there's no one here. This is weird. We get in. We start chopping it up. They open up the bar. We all start drinking.
Okay.
And we start talking to these ladies. And we find out they're like fanatics.
Okay.
Like hardcore.
Yeah.
And they're from Nicaragua.
Oh.
And they've seen her all over the world.
Really?
They've gone to see her.
Number one fan.
They've got to see her in Europe, Seattle, all over the States, in everywhere. Everywhere she's gone, these two señoras go.
Oh, that's cool.
No. The coolest thing was my friend goes, what do you guys do for a living? Like, because they look like real humble human beings. And I don't remember what they said that they did. But the one lady says, you know, all the money that we make and the reason why we work is just to do this, to come see her in concert wherever she's at. And we just travel all over the world watching her. The way she said it, it's like, that is her life. That's all what she wants with her life. And she's 100% happy about it. I'm not trying to buy a house. I'm not trying to have this wardrobe or or whatever everybody else wants. I just want to spend the rest of my life going to go see this lady in concert everywhere.
I respect that.
And that's why they worked.
I like that.
That's the whole purpose of them working. So then they're like, well, we know her. Oh. And we're like, yeah, okay. Of course you know her.
At some point. Okay, but go on.
Of course you know her. They're like,
right.
Yeah, because she sees us at all the concerts. Now that, I was like, I could see that. If they're at every concert.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, they would have to be kind of in the same spot, like front, no matter what, if this lady's going to acknowledge them, whatever, right? So then they whip out their phone.
Okay.
But they're just showing us like videos of the concerts, or it doesn't convince me in any way that these ladies know her.
There's there's no selfies with her.
No.
Like
so
that.
I'm like, damn, these ladies are talking a good game.
Yeah.
And then she pulls out her Twitter account. She's like, look, I love that they did this because I'd be that enthusiastic about it too.
Yeah.
Look, she retweeted us and she acknowledges us on Twitter and da-da-da. And I'm just like, damn, these ladies, right? So then she goes, do you want us to get her to say your guys' name and this is your first concert? And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You do that.
Yeah.
She whips out a poster that she had in her pocket or purse and a Sharpie. And writes on this paper, el primer concierto de Norma, Rita, and Ricarda. That's what she said. this lady, thank you so much, little lady. This shit is not going to happen, but thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah.
And we all were like, damn, she's really hopeful. We did not give this woman a chance at all.
Yeah,
At all. All the doubts were there. This is not going to happen.
Yeah.
It happened. It happened right before she does her first song. And we were all pretty faded by this time, too, because it was just a really long day.
Yeah.
And she starts to say, like, I can see her looking at the audience and reading.
Yeah.
Right? And then she goes, oh, felicidades. And she says word for word what this lady wrote
That
on the
is
cardboard.
awesome.
So we lose our shit. And I recorded it because I saw it coming.
You have to.
They were in the front row.
As they should be.
That's dope.
We had good tickets too. Like we were,
Yeah, you had good
because we could see it happen.
Yeah.
And I was like,
so now you know that these ladies
ladies
are front and center.
have jale with Ana Gabriel.
Hell yeah. That's commitment. Good for them.
I love them. I fell in love with them. I was like, you know what? This is really, really cool.
Were you able to catch them after or at any point?
No,
after
but
the
I have
show?
her Twitter.
Oh, okay. Well,
I have her Twitter, and she was one of them was really judging us because the two women that I was with, they're like, "Oh, we don't have Twitter." Like they're older, so it was like, "Mm." And then she's like, "Well, you." I was like, "Well, I deleted it." She goes, "None of you."
Yeah.
Like she was like,
What are you
pissed.
ladies
She was
doing?
irritated that we didn't have fucking Twitter. I was cracking up.
Twitter is everything, really.
I know. I get it.
I mean,
It's fine.
I mean, for the thought process, I think Twitter's more like Instagram's more for the visual. Obviously, like we know.
Oh
those
yeah,
two.
yeah, for sure.
But to be honest, I think more people fuck with Twitter than they do with Instagram.
Yeah. Well, so I have her Twitter. I'm gonna find her
Yeah.
and I'm gonna send her the video and say like, "Hey, thanks. Like
yeah.
this was a
That's
really,
dope.
really special,
That would be
special
dope.
moment." Yeah. So they gave us like a poster. It was signed and all that stuff. So we had the posters, and that's actually what I thought they wrote our names on. I felt bad. I was like, we should give her our posters.
Yeah.
Anyways, the posters fall in between the seats.
Oh,
You weren't able to get it.
Oh no, we did.
Oh, good.
Because she brought out the whole mariachi. She had a full-blown mariachi.
That's cool.
And then she had two acoustic guitar players. I swear they were twin brothers.
Oh,
Very
right?
handsome men. And they got down with the guitar.
You need to get their numbers.
Yeah, well, I'm getting there.
Oh.
So,
Whoa, okay.
no,
Dum, dum, dum.
Okay, continue.
we wait
It's
till
getting
the very
juicy.
end, right? Because we want to get the posters.
Yeah.
But they're kicking everybody out. And we're like, but our posters. And they're like, you're not going to get your poster, dude. We would have to take like this wall apart. Like, it's not going to happen. And they were just like, no, get out. But we stayed. And then another security guy comes and he was like, what's wrong? Our posters. And he says, oh, your phone? And we're like, yeah, the phone. Stay right here. We'll figure
Say
this
less.
out. So one of us grabs our phone, the one with the case, and throws it down there. She's like, well, now we got to make it, we don't want to lie.
Right.
So now the phone's down there.
Right.
And I was like, what if we really can't get it though?
Yeah, now you're
you
just
put
down
your
a
phone-
phone.
Yeah. So, but no, they came over.
Yeah.
They did. So now everyone's out of the stadium.
Yeah.
And that's one of my favorite things to witness is when everyone's breaking down.
Yeah.
And it's quiet.
Yeah.
And the twin brothers are right there.
Shut up.
Because they're putting everything away.
Yes.
But it wasn't even the twin brothers that interest me. I always like getting the set list.
Mm.
So we went up to the engineer and asked him for her set list, and he gave it to us. It was just it was a really, really, yeah.
That's
See,
cool.
now that's the type of stuff you need to put on the wall.
And
Yeah.
I'm gonna, so I have
Yeah.
it. I'm gonna frame it, and then we also got a Paquita del Barrio poster. That's what I'm gonna put on the wall
that's
too.
awesome.
Paquita. So
That's dope.
So what an eventful night you guys had.
yeah, and all her songs were making me cry because I was like, man, she's been hurt in her life, and you can it comes out in her music like 100%. But yeah, it was a great night. And then we went to O'Donovan's after
Good
and drank a
old
little too
O'Donovan's.
much
nightcap.
there too. It was a nightcap.
Hey, you never go wrong with O'Donovan's.
No, you can't.
O'Donovan's is always fun.
Yeah. Nice little
It was
beer.
fun. Yeah,
I like that.
yeah, it was good.
Well, the highlight of my week, nothing compared to your. Wait, hold on. So you didn't get the twin brothers' names or numbers or
I know,
anything
that's what
like
I was
that?
waiting for.
Yeah.
No, I got the set list. I was more worried about the set list with the sound engineer
Okay,
and the phone and the posters. But they were. I think if we weren't like 4 tall cans in,
Yeah.
probably would have tried to Just, or actually, and not even, just to be like, yo, you played the guitar beautifully.
Okay, how many of you guys went?
3. There were 3 total.
So which one was going to go home with nothing? If you guys went after the twin brother guitarists.
Oh, no. I think they're both in committed relationships.
Okay, so you.
Oh, so you were going to come home with both.
This was definitely going to be you.
Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa.
I missed the question. Sorry.
Wait
what happened here? Hold on. So listen, you're going to go on Twitter. Yeah.
You fumbled.
You're going to go on Twitter tonight. You're going to find the mariachi and the twin brothers, and you're going to connect.
No.
Yes, I spoke it into existence.
And I will do that. But here's why. After all that, like learning everything about Veronica Castro and listening to her quote about all of that shit, and I know we've talked about it, right? I want to take everything that I've ever thought I've wanted, and I just want to throw it out the window, right? And just clean slate, get my shit straight, and then find a way to crack open that tenderness and that love that I have inside, that affection. I want access to that.
Wait, you said Veronica Castro. What did she say?
She was talking about how she's aggressive.
Oh, I thought that was Ana Gabriel that said that.
What did I just say?
You said Ana Gabriel that she was aggressive, that she had to be aggressive.
Yeah. And the person that I'm talking about.
Oh, Veronica Castro interviewed her.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm just confused on what's happening.
That kind of... We're still surprised that you didn't come home with 2 mariachis.
Yeah.
Rickie. We're like,
Sorry.
what happened?
Oh, well, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Is I'm not coming home with nobody because I 100%. I want to be accessible.
Listen, I sent you a message the other day, and I told you to have fun and whore it up. And I'm very upset that you did all but the whore part.
No, I got invited to go to the Bahamas with a friend of mine. A male friend of mine. So he's like, go. And I'm like, yeah. It's kind of a big commitment.
No, what? What part? You just have to fly there.
Commitment. I have to fly.
After the show, we get the details out and the details.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We'll leave that for after. We're gonna put a pin on that for later, because we're not gonna drop that one.
Let me go back to my point.
Oh yes. I'm sorry. So you're gonna
because it's tied together, right?
Yeah.
I want access to myself. That light, that tenderness, like that. I was thinking about you, how I would clown you because you wanted to do cheesy things like all of your whole family in matching Christmas pajamas.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, that's so cheesy. Like, or, you call my brother babe. That's fucking cheesy. Like, But you know what? I think I want cheesy.
Then I think we crack it. Do what you got to do. Because I think this is the entry to her being able to watch Fast and the Furious.
Yes.
Why did I not see that coming?
We won.
No.
That's the cheesy shit.
My God.
Yes, that's part of it.
That's part
of it.
All that same cheesy that you're talking about, the matching sweaters and or how Samantha says, "Oh, babe." Like, put the fucking B in the word, okay? Don't take babe and take the B out. Put the B back in there. Shit.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
That's fine.
So if you want to be that corny, you have to watch Fast and the Furious.
That's the whole package. Oh,
okay,
welcome.
Right. No, okay, but see, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I do want to, I'm not saying I do or I don't. I actually want to be available. I want to become available, but there's prerequisites to that shit.
Okay, so backtrack to last week when you asked all of us what we would tell our...
I have a story on that too.
Okay, so do you think you would have to go that far back to have to like...
Oh, fuck. Like to my childhood?
Well, in order to
heal.
Because you're saying you want to throw all the ideas that you have right now, you want to throw it all out the fucking window.
Yeah.
In order to start new, right? Mm-hmm. Do you have to go that far back?
I don't want to, but maybe I will in some cases.
Because in order to do that, you have to have some type of like reconciling with your past.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Which means you would have to go back into acknowledging what hurt you originally and say, fuck it, I'm done with it. And now you can start all over.
So I thought about that. Like, what is it that I would want to really focus on? And forget focusing on, but acknowledging. Yeah. After my divorce, I was in nothing but situationships. Mm-hmm. The definition of situationships is what I got my ass in. Every single time. Yeah. So I've not had an actual like serious relationship since I was married. Like anything after that, it was just
married to the father of
Gray.
your children?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, I was married twice.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
so which one?
Well,
Sorry, just to
and
be
that's
clear.
kind of weird too because he was in prison, so it's not like we had a traditional relationship.
So that was a little
But
bit
it
of a
still
situation,
was
too.
though because I had a better connection with my second husband than I did with my first husband,
But that's because you didn't have to live with them.
which is a good point. But just on a personal level, like
Yeah.
it was very different. So
Yeah.
I've not had that
Yeah.
at all, and I want that. I want to be able to discover that and accept it from somebody, and I genuinely want that now. I don't think I wanted that as much as I wanted it before because I was still accepting dumb shit.
Yeah.
But now it's like, you know what? And it was because of Ana Gabriel's songs and her lyrics and just and fucking reading Tina Turner's book also where she didn't find love till later in life and it was good love.
Yeah.
Like, and she said, "Man, God, of all the shit that I've been through, when am I gonna catch a break?" And she got a beautiful break. Her husband is amazing. Like, beautiful, beautiful story. So reading all of those different things and just doing all this healing shit that I'm doing and all my conversations with you guys, because you guys are very helpful in that.
It's going to happen
You
for
guys
you.
are great friends.
You can't.
Oh, thank you.
You can't
Thank
say
you.
that when
We
I,
love you.
when I just told you to go be a whore. Now I feel like shit.
Okay, hold on. Yes, because I think that as your friends, and Ray will agree with me to this, in order for you to find the one, you got to go hoe it up.
A little
I
bit.
think I've done enough of that.
Okay,
I don't
do it
want to
again.
do that anymore.
So we'll trust your process.
Yeah.
Okay. But you have to enjoy your life.
Yeah.
So you're not wrong, but I think I was doing that carelessly before. It's not that I wasn't. I mean, I was enjoying not being like having sex, but not being in a committed relationship, but situationships, right?
Yeah.
I was okay with that. Like I accepted that.
But would you say you were looking for it?
Yeah, I was really
So-
good at putting myself in situations.
So
like that.
so that's why I'm saying you got to enjoy yourself and don't look for it.
Yeah,
You
that's
have
the
to,
part.
Like, I guess when I'm telling you go whore it up, it's not necessarily mean like just lay on your back. You
Oh
know?
no.
Like at every fucking stop, like
Oh.
it's more so just saying like live your life
Yeah.
and
YOLO.
don't look for it.
Right.
When it comes, it will come. Pause, and
That's
it
what she
will-
said.
After the whoring up stage, or sorry.
See, we're so fucking
Sorry.
immature, dude.
Sorry.
We're so immature.
Sorry.
I love it.
I'm not in that circle.
I love it.
We're on this frequency.
Come on now. You need to watch at least two more series of Fast and the Furious to get on our level.
Oh,
Need
man.
that cheesy love.
So do
But
that.
you just gotta go out. You can't look for.
Don't look for nothing.
You remember
Don't
I
have
told
expectations.
You, yeah, I told you what I tell my sister and I tell my daughter too now is you don't look for somebody. Because when you look for somebody, you have the expectation, and it will never fail that the expectation is never met.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah.
just go out and have fun. Be a whore.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
let Stella get her groove back. Homie.
Yeah. Do what you do, girl.
I'm
Just
just
shine.
gonna.
Go to the Bahamas.
Go to the Bahamas. You might meet a Tay Diggs out there, and you know.
He always reminds me of 1999. When I think of Tay Diggs, equals 1999.
That was probably like the height. That was his. That was his apex. Yeah. He was like, because what else was he in? He had How Stella Got Her Groove Back. He had a couple
yeah.
other movies, all like within a certain time frame. That were
Who is he?
Tay
Who-
Diggs.
Tay Diggs.
What movie?
How Stella Got Her Groove Back.
Oh, he was also the one.
I was too young.
In oh shit. In
Give me a popular one. As if
where
that
he's
one probably
like,
wasn't
oh, I
popular.
know, it's got to be this one because it did come out in 1999. He's going to his best friend's wedding, right?
It's called Best Man, isn't it?
Yes.
With Julia Roberts.
No. But basically, his best friend's getting married.
Let me look this shit up.
But Tay
Isn't that
Diggs'
what-
character was with his wife
I
when
think
they were younger.
Sanaa Lathan's in that one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
When they were younger, right? So he fucking wrote a book about it. And right before this guy's going to get married, someone gives him a copy of the book. And now he reads his best friend's book.
Oh.
Where he learns that when his now soon to be wife and his best friend were in college, they did it.
Okay, I'm gonna have to watch this.
Yeah.
It's
So I actually
interesting.
went to the movie theater to see this.
Taint dicks. You know, I have no idea.
What was the last movie you want to go see in the theater?
Me?
Yeah.
God, I don't remember.
Oh, Wakanda Forever.
You seen it in theater?
Yeah, I took my kids.
You don't know?
I'm a Marvel fan, so I always take them to movies to see
What you
that.
got, Natalie?
I don't remember the last movie I watched.
I,
It had to
At
be.
the-
no, at the didn't you go with your dad before?
Oh, Toy Story. Or no, Buzz Lightyear, I'm sorry. Or Lightyear, whatever the fuck the movie is. Yeah, that was the last one, and that's the day that my water broke.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the
was the last
next
movie.
movie you're gonna watch is gonna be what?
Creed.
You're gonna go watch that?
Creed 3.
I heard it's good.
Anything Michael B. Jordan.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be good. If he's in it.
One's looking for the mariachis, the other one's looking for Michael B. Jordan.
Oh no, Michael B. Jordan. Have you seen the Amazon commercial? That
Oh,
he does?
yes.
Wow, I saw that. I watched that commercial 1,000 times. That commercial was so well done, and he just
Perfect. He's just flourishing in there.
his voice.
I mean, he's just sexy.
It's the voice. There's like this sense of calmness.
Yeah. He's
and
just so
it's just-
smooth.
His voice hugs you.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Oh, I'm getting all giggly.
Same. Yeah. My hands are getting sweaty over here.
he's wonderful.
Yeah, yeah.
wonderful.
So Michael B. Jordan, anything that he does, I'm
What
there
was
for it.
what was that very first movie he did that
Oh, I don't know.
it was like about that one dude that got murdered in the train.
Oh,
the
yes, the
documentary.
Fruitvale Station, or
Yeah, the
Fruitvale, or Fruitvale.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one
was
was
a good
good.
movie.
Oof.
That was the first thing
Oh,
I ever
man,
seen
I
of him,
cried.
and I was like, yo, that's dope.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it,
Oh,
need to
you
watch it.
should.
but I know the story. and
Ugh.
I know Michael
Tore
B.
me
Jordan.
apart. Tore me apart. That was really good. That's sad.
Have you ever seen Losing Isaiah
Oh, a long ass time ago.
with Halle Berry?
Mm-mm.
That
good.
one- yeah, that one's good.
That was
Sad.
a long ass time ago. Like
Losing
That was
Isaiah.
like in the 80s or early 90s.
I was gonna
Really?
say, like early 90s.
hmm
Oh.
It's only sad because you see a lot of it.
Mm.
Because so that
Like in the real world, you mean
in
like
in
us?
today's society,
Wait, see what Isaiah or Fruitvale?
Losing Isaiah,
Oh, I've never
because
seen that one. So I don't know.
because so Isaiah is Halle Berry's son in the movie,
Okay.
right? And she plays. I sound bad. I feel wrong calling Halle Berry a crackhead, but she pretty much plays a crackhead,
Okay.
and that's how she ends up losing her baby. But
Mm.
every time she gets better, just goes back, like just that whole process. And because I think it was like what the 80s or early 90s, that's where the whole
The
crap
pandemic.
epidemic ended up being
Epidemic.
as high as it was. But it's just like that fucking sucks because you still see it now. Like you
Yeah.
still see all that crazy shit,
Yeah,
and people they try to get back on track, but it's just like
they can't.
they just fall back every time.
Speaking of falling back, Ray also recommended this. It was a limited series called The Pharmacist.
Oh yeah. I
Have you
haven't
seen it?
No, no. Is that
That
on
was
where?
intense. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
And Ray, it was late. I watched the whole thing. Like it was really good. And that I
Really?
actually don't even want to spoil, but it's
Okay.
it's about like love and
Okay, so it has to do because it was within that time frame too of
The
the
90s.
crack epidemic and everything. So the dude, the pharmacist, in the beginning, his son, and this is actually a true story. It's not a movie. It's an actual true story.
Yeah.
And the pharmacist ends up losing his son in like in a bad drug deal.
Mm.
And
Whoa.
yeah.
he goes like full throttle and
He lost his shit.
trying to solve this situation.
The cops wouldn't help him.
So then from that, he takes care of all that. And then fast forward, he continues. Like it's that the passion that he had to figure out what happened with his son. He continued that into figuring out what the fuck was going on with all this Oxycontin shit.
Oh.
So like him being a pharmacist and having the access to
All this
records
pharmaceuticals.
and all that shit. Like
Oh,
it's a really fucking good.
He goes after fucking big pharmas. Like that's literally. And so, but here's the thing that
Wait, but this isn't on. Is this
It's
based
on
on
Netflix.
true events?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
it
all
is.
his story.
true. And they have like the DEAs in the document. Everybody's in it because even I think
me.
one of the ladies that was part of the FBI was like, we dragged our foot too long in it,
oh yeah,
and she was like, it took this man
he helped.
Mm-hmm.
to put so much pressure on everything because he was coming at every fucking angle. He was like, bugging the shit out of everybody. He was calling FBI, DEA, calling local. And then once he figured out that local authorities were in with homegirl, like, it was fucking nuts. And it's just like, yo.
But he was, you called it passionate. He was very passionate. But the dad himself would say he became obsessive. It was an obsession. But I always think that sometimes the word obsession gets a bad rap because people think like you're doing something
like
bad.
It's negative.
But there was an outcome out of his obsession.
Yeah.
It was.
That wasn't just like a regular outcome though either. That was like.
But it also wasn't a regular obsession. This man recorded everything. He has tape, VHS, little recorders, and he would just do that shit just to record himself.
And the crazy part about it is so all this happened, and then Katrina hit.
Oh. That's right.
And then, so even with all that damage that Katrina, so then you have like the influx of OxyContin.
Because everyone's depressed.
Needing it. Everybody, like, they're in pain. They're like, so they actually really need it. And then he's just like, so the person that he's trying to take down, like, in the meantime, she's just banking.
Whoa.
Cash only.
The pharmacist.
No. He's the pharmacist.
No, but the movie.
The pharmacist, the documentary. We'll send you the link.
Yeah.
We'll post the link
watch
too.
this.
But it's really, really good. Like, I'm telling you, these last couple of weeks, I've just been going down this rabbit hole of documentaries. And I love documentaries in general.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I usually stay away from like the murders or the... But I don't know why. Recently, that's just been like, oh, let me see what's going on. Like, what's this one about? What's that one about? So, but that one, when I seen it, and then like his personality is almost like over the top character.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
Like, but then you figure out where he's like, they're on the East Coast, right? So it kind of plays to that. Like, yeah, like
just the way the personality, the
yeah,
way.
Because where was it? Detroit, Louisiana. Like he's just very like Southern animated.
He kind of felt like he was Southern, but also from like the East Coast too. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Straight
like,
out of
like Boston or something.
Yeah.
Like
he's a weird mix.
His personality, very 80s like personality, like salesman.
Oh.
Like he wears Brute.
No, I can smell it. That makes sense.
No.
I can smell it.
He wears Brute and loafers with the tassel.
Oh, okay. You've said enough. Okay. I can picture it in my head.
But I also text you guys this week about a conflict that I had with somebody's watching the R. Kelly thing.
Oh, yeah.
You're watching it. And we were talking about
you said you have some type of, you feel like you
empathy.
You kind of feel empathy. You didn't say you felt it entirely.
Right. Because I understood that like R. Kelly just didn't come up with this shit on his own. Like hurt people. He went through his own. So that was why I was like, no. That's why I was like, okay. But this is the only reason why I said that. Because I watched a documentary and it's about trying to get people out of prison that were put in prison when they were kids. Right?
For trauma or?
There's So there's a kid who was adopted by the parents, right? And he basically stabs and kills his stepdad.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, you did mention that.
Just completely. And I don't think he meant to kill him. I think he just wanted to hurt him, but he just stabbed him up. Yeah, stomach, neck. He was out. So everybody wanted him, give him the death penalty, like he should die. I think he was 16 when it happened. And so then they explain how it all happened. So his mom was on drugs and an alcoholic.
The adoptive mom?
No, his the real mom. So while she was pregnant with him, she was drinking, doing drugs. Kid comes out, and when he's 4 years old, because the mom's going out and partying and doing drugs, she left her son with her brother to take care of him. And he sexually abused his own nephew. Bad. Like the worst you could do to a 4-year-old. So all of this kid's carrying, and then they were just from foster home to foster home when they took him away from the mom.
Yeah.
So he landed with this family who he stuck with the most.
Yeah.
Except that the dad was abusive, but he believed in corporal punishment. Like he beat the shit out of this kid. So his foster parent, the dad, is beating him because he says, you know, the boy needs discipline. Yeah. And he wouldn't get into too much trouble, but it was really bad. So they were just explaining how, all of that, his whole life led up to that moment, not feeling safe, all the trauma that you've been through. Yeah. And I understood why it happened. I was like, I get it.
Okay, yeah. So my question, because when you sent that, I was like, and I'm still questioning where your compassion or your empathy comes from and how you connect what this kid went through with adults versus what this man is doing to children.
Because that man was once that same kid that had stuff done to him.
But one kid was protecting himself later in life.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it manifested differently.
That's
100% different.
And that's why I told you, like, I can't have any empathy for this man. For the fact that he has gotten caught so many times.
No, yeah, that part of it.
He went through each trial, and through each trial, he was still doing the same thing. Till this day, there's, I think, one girl that they can't get a hold of. Damn.
I don't disagree with you on that. That part, 100%, I'm with you.
That's why, like, when you texted that, I was like, where's the empathy at? I don't get where you're coming at.
I just connect with the part that he...
That's just trauma.
Exactly.
But everybody has. Yes. You have your trauma. Natalie has her trauma. I have my trauma. We all have some type of trauma.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying I can't have empathy for someone who took their trauma to endanger other people, as opposed to.
But I don't think he knew what he was.
I think he did know what he was doing.
Because I think at some point he eventually. But I think the first time you're doing something, you may not necessarily know. Just like that one actress who was taking a shower with her brother, she didn't know that wasn't right. See,
but that's way different because no one was covering anything up for her, and this man was literally putting people in place and having.
He was organized.
He was having things signed so that you can't say nothing against him.
NDAs.
So how? And that's what I'm saying. Like maybe the first time, I don't know.
No, I guess
because after the first time, and if you looked at the first person that he interviewed, she said the same thing. Like he realized what he was doing.
Yeah.
When he was doing it.
There was malicious intent.
And every time for everybody, like even with Aaliyah, like you look at Aaliyah, her parents were ended up being bought out in that situation, and they had to sign. That's, I think, who he figured out how to do the NDA thing. Right. So the person that they had ended up just saying, well, we'll settle, and you also have to sign this NDA, and every victim that he has had to do that.
Right.
So that's why I'm saying, like, I can't have empathy for someone who's planning to do this every time with more than so many people. One or two people, and you're like, you know what, I fucked up.
Right.
But when you have
you're not wrong. I don't
of 20, 30 years, that's where I was like,
no, I don't get
where you're coming
from
with this.
My only point is just I get why fucked up people do the shit that they do because they have trauma. Like,
oh, that's an easy find though. You didn't have to watch either one of those documentaries to understand that.
And that just
you've lived it yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is sad. I haven't tuned in. I think I realized after you guys were talking about the R. Kelly documentary that I'm the type of person that doesn't like to give into the hype. So I'll watch things way after.
Well, see, and that's why
that's dumb.
I know.
Why?
I have no idea. It's me wanting to not give into the system.
Yeah, that's why I didn't watch it until recently. And I remember when I watched it, the next morning, I walked into the room and I just looked at Samantha. I was just like, she was like, what happened? And like, I couldn't stop shaking my head. And she was like, what's wrong? I was like, I don't know why I fucking did this. She was like, what'd you do? I was like, I went down the fucking R. Kelly rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And in that documentary, like even some of the victims and people explain, like, we kind of let him do it. Because we gave the excuse it's R. Kelly.
We're complicit.
We were and I've been guilty of saying this. Like, we got to learn how to separate the person and their personal life versus the person as an artist.
Yeah.
And I've said that a lot. But as a person with a daughter, yeah, no, that's not gonna work, bro.
Yeah,
that can't, because there's been way too many instances. Like I said, like one or two, you're just like, man, like what the fuck's going on?
Right.
But when you become so strategic with every fucking move that you make, in order to
You're calculated.
In order to lure these little girls in, because I think there was
premeditated.
None of them ended up being, I think, more than 19 years old. I think one or two were a little bit older than that.
So let me ask a really dumb question. So
can we give you a really dumb answer?
I just want to know how you guys operate, or I just want to tell you what I just experienced in my head.
Okay.
Do it.
So I heard everything that you just said about, you have a daughter, you've been on the R. Kelly rabbit hole, and I listened to everything that you said, right? Mm-hmm. But as I was listening to you talk, there was another part of my brain that started to think about our conversation with, what was that movie? Losing Isaiah, which made me think of a Raphael Sadiq song that comes out in one of those movies, and the name of the song is Ask of You. And I think it was the movie that Tendaji's sister was in too. And there may have been a basketball involved.
Oh, Love and Basketball.
Maybe. Okay, but my point is this. My point is this. Do you guys do that?
What?
You're having a conversation, you're listening to someone, and then there's another part, you're thinking about something completely different, but you're doing them both at the same time.
I used to. I can't these days. I have postpartum mom brain, so I could barely hold on to the conversation that I'm having.
I think I might do that often. And
you get thinking something else.
Yeah, I think because then you've probably heard Samantha say it before, like, he doesn't pay attention. And I'm really paying attention, because then, like,
you're having
way down the line, I'll tell her, like, well, remember when you said this?
Oh, yes.
And she's like,
you were listening.
You were actually listening.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Like, so, yeah, I guess I do that, too.
That makes sense.
I was freaking out right now. I do it often, but it was so detailed right now. I saw the whole movie, heard the whole fucking song.
All while Ray was
all while I was like, I'm not gonna convince Ray of R. Kelly.
Well, while
I
Ray
don't think you need to convince anybody about R. Kelly.
Just kidding.
While Ray was talking about this, all I could think of was, and I mentioned it to you before. I don't know if you've heard of this, Ray. The soft white underbelly.
Oh yes,
on YouTube.
You made me follow him on Instagram.
Yes,
I like how they shoot.
Yes, so follow them on Instagram, but watch, or you don't have to do anything really, but do what you want, okay? All right. But the soft white underbelly is a documentary, and a continuous documentary that a retired photographer from Apple shoots homeless people, pimps, incest people, incest families, all these types of people from all different types of backgrounds.
All kinds of fucked up people, traumatized.
Yes. And he, just like how we are, he stands just like this behind the camera, and these people just tell their stories. Ever since I've watched them, I have compassion for everything and everyone. And these are sick mind. Like, these people, yes, they've done some sick things, but at the end of the day, what's been consistent throughout is that they just want to be loved. And it's so sad. I'm getting like teary-eyed.
It all comes down to love.
Because they've been so hurt.
And you're not wrong. And I think that's where, going back to the whole R. Kelly thing, I think that's where he knows that.
Yeah.
He knew all that.
And he chose to.
And he actually used it in order to lure, because if you hear all their stories, they say he breaks down. Because if I could break down and explain to you, like, say if it's when me and one of you, and we're just having a random ass conversation, and I break down and I tell you what has hurt me in the past, i.e. being sexually molested by someone in my family, and you know what I mean, for an expanded amount of time.
Yeah.
So when someone does that to you, your first thought process is, damn, like, this person really opened up to me. So he builds that compassion with those people. So that same route that you just went, as far as saying that, this is a man who knew that.
Yeah.
And used that in order to gain access to these women.
Yeah.
So he's just fucked up.
And that's why I'm trying to say,
he preyed on victims.
And there was one thing I used to always say when it came to, like, oh, I'm not playing R. Kelly, or when people would say that, and
a good songwriter.
I would always tell people, look, there's people in your family or someone you
Oh,
know
yes.
that have done worse shit than R. Kelly. So before you try to cancel him,
Yeah.
worry
Look at
about
your
your
own
own
family.
shit first,
Yeah.
right? I would always say that, but now going back and watching it, and even watching like his version of shit, I can't have compassion for the dude. But here's the thing that also sucks. If you want to say cancel R. Kelly and cancel everything that he's done, if you look at this man's catalog, it's almost as close to like a person like Prince, who has worked with all the people that you
That's interesting.
love.
Speaking of Prince, I started reading a book that he was only married one time, right?
Prince?
Prince was only married once.
I think so. I don't know.
It's her book. She wrote her story on how she met Prince.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it good? Have you read it?
You know, I was really excited about reading it,
Not that
and
great.
then it kind of feels, I don't know.
Is it in like? Did she paint him in a good light, or she paint him in a
It's
negative?
all good. It's all beautiful. The story is great. It's just the writing felt kind of I don't want to be cautious saying this because I'm not trying to put her down for it, but it just sounded very amateur and like middle schoolish.
But don't you, when you write a book, don't you usually have someone that
Writes it
for
or,
you?
like
You
helps
you could do it yourself. You could have multiple writers, ghostwriters, all of that. But I guess I'm comparing it to a book, Morris Day. He wrote a book about Prince, and that book felt different. It felt
like you could have made a movie out of it.
Yeah. This one kind of feels like, here's how I was a fan of Prince and how I got to dance for him and become a dancer for him, and this is how I married him. It felt, because she started out as a fan. She gave him a video of herself dancing.
Yeah.
Because she was and she's actually beautiful. I love her family and I love where she comes from.
Would you expect a Prince not to have a beautiful wife? It's fucking Prince.
Yeah. She was 16 years old when she met him for the first time. The mom gives the security guard the tape. He gives it to him, watches him, and he calls her back.
Wow.
And that's how they met, and then they just became friends. But
at what point did they have a relationship?
When she was over 19, she was
okay.
Because
you see what fucking R. Kelly just did to me.
Now we're questioning everyone,
like,
all these artists.
But I think people would have questioned because she was 16 years old going to his hotel room.
Oof.
But her mom would go, but then the mom left her. So it all kind of sounds like the mom really pushed her to do this. Come on, Mija, you're a great dancer. Da 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 da. It happens, but they're both fans.
Yeah.
The tone of it, I just did it. I don't know. It's just weird.
And I mean, maybe
I'm trying to get into it.
Maybe that's what you have to take it as, because is that so? In her current life now, is she still a dancer, or what does she do?
She's a professional dancer and a model and an actress. She's all of those things.
How old is she now?
I have no clue. But they had a kid. They had a baby, but she lost it.
Oh,
I think the baby was born, and then
passed away.
and then she talks about Prince becoming her. When you give up your rights, not you give up your rights, but you take custody of someone.
Your beneficiary?
So, I don't know. It was before they were married, but it almost seemed
like a conservatorship,
something like that.
I don't know.
I can't remember the term, but they had a very interesting.
There's a term. Maybe she has like
Legal guardian.
Oh.
Because I think it was before she was 19.
So if something were to happen to him, she could say pull the plug or don't.
Him on her.
Yeah, because
Yes.
he became like her parent almost.
Correct.
That's the legal guardianship part, right?
Right.
Wow.
Yes, that's why I was like, dude, that's weird.
And then he ended up marrying her?
Yes, and
That
that
is
when
a
he
little
saw her
strange.
for the first time, before he saw the video, that he told his friends, I'm gonna marry that girl. Didn't even fucking know who she was.
funny.
Was 16 at the time. And that's what he told her.
You know the crazy
when
thing?
they met.
Prince.
So the homie Deadloop, he had
Esther!
he had his stream the other day, and he's like, "Oh, one of my favorite Beatles songs," and it was the one where they're talking about like the girl. She's like 17.
Oh, well,
and-
she was just
And
17.
like I could see her,
You
and she's
know.
dancing over there. But I like You start thinking about that shit, you're like, yo, that's fucking perverted, bro.
Oh, bet, yeah.
Fucking
Because like in the song, he's saying she didn't move like she was 17, and I want to dance with her.
Pervs.
But that's how it was, though.
Yeah.
That's how it was. Things change.
No, they don't.
For the chick,
Yes and no.
you're right.
They don't.
Both
Yes
of you are
and
right.
no.
Yeah,
We're
they
both
don't.
right. Things change.
Guys are pervs.
They don't.
Sorry.
They just.
That's timeless.
They don't change, because if they did, then R. Kelly would never had that opportunity to do what he did. And that goes to the other aspect where I'm saying, if we're gonna cancel R. Kelly, then
We gotta cancel the Beatles.
then we
now.
gotta cancel the Beatles.
Why are
And
you so
Prince.
mad at R. Kelly, Ray? Jesus.
I'm not. You know what? I'm not. That. For any of the listeners, I will tell you now, please don't be mad at Rickie for saying that.
I'm gonna watch this documentary. I want to be in the
Wait,
know.
you haven't seen
The R. Kelly? No, I haven't seen it. I
Which
haven't seen it.
doesn't
I'm gonna
matter.
watch it.
Which doesn't matter, because your answer is going to be the same, that you will find compassion for him, just like the silver white
don't know.
underwear belly thing.
I think you got to watch the entire thing though.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna watch it.
there's like the first one where that has like what 10, not even 10 episodes, it's like 6 episodes, and then they do another one that has like another, and
Jesus, how long is it? It is long.
there's a two-part series.
Okay.
The first one happened before he went to court. The second one's happening like kind of during the court process and everything like that. So like the people that were in the first set of the series are actually like, some of the victims are actually now saved and in the newer version of it.
Jesus.
And I think there's a third one that has like the aftermath, because I think a couple days ago he was actually
Right. That's what
he was
I
actually
saw.
convicted for another 30 years.
Stop.
So, sorry. Does R. Kelly come out in any of these? Is he interviewed? No, it's just the victims telling their stories.
It's all the victims and everybody that was involved as far as like law enforcement and
Okay.
so what they do though in between, and you'll catch it, is that they'll have like a disclosure saying, because it says that R. Kelly denies all claims and this and that, and then they like, so anything that the attorney on his end had to say, they would disclose it throughout the series, just so that you understand, like, this isn't us just trying to throw shit at him. Like,
He had an opportunity.
Yeah, he had an opportunity, and this is what he's saying, that he's denying all the claims and this and that, and boom. But it's just, there's so many layers to it, and again, I'm not upset with, not just with what he did and how he went about it. I'm kind of upset at the same fact that we allowed shit like that, and we still do. Look, again, like I said,
So nothing's changed. Like if you're an artist,
and
if
that's
you're
why
a
you're
Drake,
saying
you're gonna
so you
fuck
just
the 15-year-old.
you just proved my point, because you said things change, and I said not always, and
I think it happens a lot less now than before.
Does.
I think so. So for
And
how
we
did because
we
how
know
did
how to
this-
cover it up, because the man was covering it up for 30 years.
Right. But it's like, remember we were going to perform at Angel City, and they gave us a list of do not play artists, right? And of course, R. Kelly was on there, but so was Michael Jackson, Led Zeppelin, Aerosmith.
Oh, it's all the people that have been accused or convicted for anything towards women.
And Elvis Presley.
Well, Priscilla was like 15.
Right. So they were like, under no circumstance. And I get that, right? But it's like, so you can't separate the artist from the human being, right? Because...
Well, no, because...
And not that I'm condoning any of that. I'm not. It's terrible.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, no one be upset with Rickie, because she's not... She's just trying to figure out, like, the side of, like, well... Because at the end of the day, there's that whole... Like, we have to care about what people think, in a sense. It's that politically correct...
Yeah, you have to say the
aspect,
right thing to the
right?
right people, and you don't want
And
to
if you're a company that is empowering women...
Oh, for sure.
And that's the point where it's just like, all right, if we're empowering women, yet we have entertainment, and this entertainment is playing artists that were not empowering women.
Yeah.
Then
So,
what are we doing? But
okay.
but see, that's what I'm saying. Like, it breaks you. If you break it all down, we'd have to like listen to bluegrass or something, because there's no.
But
Look
Ray,
at the amount of people he's worked with.
let me ask you this. So when Michael Jackson was on the list, right? So then I
Mhm.
was like, well, could we play Jackson 5 before Michael Jackson
Ooh, good question.
became right? Because if you play Jackson 5, he's a child, right?
Yeah.
And he's the victim at that point.
Yeah.
He is the victim
Yeah.
when he's in the Jackson 5.
Yeah.
When he becomes Michael Jackson, he
Not
is
so
now.
much.
But he was never convicted of anything, and that's a part that
So you're saying Michael's innocent?
I don't say anybody's anything. At the end of the day, that's not my call. But if you're gonna look at like, oh yeah, we can't play R. Kelly, that makes sense. He's been convicted, right?
Wait, Led Zeppelin and all those guys were convicted?
I don't know. I'm just saying he's being convicted, right?
Right.
I don't know if they've been convicted. All I'm just saying is like,
But and it's,
do you put like a limit to it? Like if they've been accused, we're not touching any of their entertainment. We're not playing any of their music. We're not letting their voice be heard. Because what they say is that you're allowing them to express, because music is art, right? And what you do behind closed doors a lot of times comes out in that music.
yeah.
So when you have the Beatles singing about a 17-year-old girl and how she doesn't move like a 17-year-old girl and he would love to be dancing with her, like, put it together. You already understand where that's coming from, right? And then you have like Aerosmith, and then you have R. Kelly. But do they have a limit, or are they just saying that? Because at the end of the day, you're just going off of people you know have been accused.
Right. And you don't, right. 100%.
Because unfortunately, you don't even know if people in the office of your company
you don't. And
are doing these things.
Go back to the Murdaugh murders, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just people with power and money that you get away with whatever you need to get away with.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're an artist, a politician, a fucking drug lord. It doesn't matter. Like, when you're in a position of power,
if you have the
they
right,
erase everything.
you have that resource.
To
negate anything, then it's okay.
That's what I'm saying. And imagine all of those people that haven't been uncovered in completely different parts of life.
And that goes to what I was saying earlier. We do the same thing because some of us have family members or friends that have done what these men have done.
Right.
And we
don't do shit. We cover it up.
Have you canceled them in your life?
I did.
I'm not saying
the
you,
one situation,
but I mean, but in general, do you know what I mean? Like,
they fled the country.
Have you the way people are so passionate about canceling entertainers?
Right. We don't do it at home.
We don't do it at home. So we're initially doing the same thing.
It's a disservice.
We're making excuses for them.
They obviously don't have the money power over us.
Right.
There's more of an emotional, like, well, that's my cousin or that's my friend or that's like, so we make up some type of excuse to make it okay for this person doing the exact same thing that a celebrity did.
Yeah.
And that's where, like, for me, it's just like, look, play his music if you're going to play his music. But don't turn a blind eye to the things that he's done.
That's a good compromise.
Yeah.
That's
like, oh no, his fucking music is fucking dope, because it is.
Yeah, step,
it is.
Step. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, how many people have had that in their weddings?
I love
every
that song.
single wedding.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, you play that, and now we're gonna force people who had those memories with that song.
You're cursed forever.
Don't fucking worry about that song no more. When you hear it now, you have to tie all these sexual assault cases. Like, and like I said, I don't condone any of the shit he does as a person. If I were to be in jail and I met him, it wouldn't go good.
Oh my God, Ray, you must be a mind reader, because I was thinking about that earlier. I was like, what if Ray ended up in prison with R. Kelly and they shared a bunk together?
Yeah.
And then Ray writes to us one day, you're right. I have compassion for R. Kelly. But let me ask you this. What if you found out that J. Cole fucked around with younger women?
Now, I wouldn't really fuck with him either.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not saying really. Too. Like, I'm not condoning any of that, but
you got to understand, I don't play favoritism with my children. Why would I play favoritism with people that don't mean that much?
That's a good answer when my kids ask me.
Yeah, you know what? If you guys came around and told me, hey, you know what? San Benito, Bad Bunny just fucked around with some younger girls.
I'm going to tell you now, you better be ready for some of that news.
You think so?
Yeah. I would, come on. This guy can just jump in
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't. That, like, females are going to come out about, or that he's taking advantage of females?
I hope he's not taking advantage
No, I
of no
don't
one.
think-
But here's the thing: even if they don't come out, because within that time frame with Bill Cosby, no one how many fucking years did that shit go by
like
and no one
20
said
plus.
nothing?
Yeah, that's true.
No offense, because you're older than me, I don't want you to get mad. But you may not be alive when all that info comes out.
I'm dying now. But you're right.
You know what I
right.
mean? So like it's one of those things where you gotta think, like you mentioned the Murdoch murders.
Such a good
You gonna
show.
tell me Benito don't have that type of money?
Yeah. Oh,
I think he does have that type of money, but what I'm saying is that I think he's gonna be a good celebrity. I don't think he's gonna get into any trouble. You're not gonna see any.
Well, we thought R.
ratchet
Kelly
shit.
was a good celebrity. We all were singing
step in the name of love.
"Step in the Name of Love." I believe I can
of
fly.
love.
That's the whole point, is that we don't know.
I think Bad Bunny has learned from his previous just history in music and the
Didn't
culture
he kiss?
that we're in
I
right
thought
now.
he kissed a teenager on the stage. Didn't he recently?
I don't know.
One of the girls that he
Ray, don't
kissed.
start rumors, okay?
I might be wrong.
I don't
And it's
know, I don't
okay
know.
because look at Brian
It's okay.
Brandon. But Brian Brandon kissed that 16-year-old girl, and he
Did.
was 30, and he's not in jail. He's got a whole movie about him.
He did. He did. See, everything's gonna be okay.
I guess you can't just do what Donald Trump does. You know, you can't.
And you know what? And I'm glad you brought that up
You
because
can't just
I was
grab
gonna,
him.
And you see, and that's the point that I was gonna make about that. It doesn't change, and it won't
sorry.
change because we allow it, even with the powers that be.
Oh yeah.
The president, the one that's supposed to set the example, is
At that time.
grabbing him by the the hoo ha.
Okay, let me ask you a hypothetical question. De Luca's 23 years old,
Oh gosh, please don't do this to me.
and you and you find out that he moved on a girl that was 16, right? And homegirl was not liking it, didn't like it. Not about it. And it comes to your attention. The police are involved, and it's gonna leak. What do you do?
Can I ask you the same question?
Oh yeah, I've thought about this.
Listen, mijo, eso no se hace.
Eso no se hace. Mijo, tienes 23 años.
¿Qué estás haciendo? Oh man, that's hard. I don't know what I would do.
Would you talk to your family about it? Would you be open with people about it? Or would you try and hide it and cover it up and like, shh, nobody knows about this?
Oh man, that's hard. I think initially I would go about like, talk to me about this. What has led you to this point?
Mm-hmm.
I did not raise you this way. Or maybe I did.
What did you do?
I don't know.
Right.
Where did I go wrong?
That's a great question.
Where did I go wrong?
Responsibility.
Yeah.
Hurt people, hurt people.
Yeah. And so, God, I don't know. How do I help you?
Ricky went full like Dr. Phil on you right
Yeah.
now. Look at, she crossed her leg. The laptop is sitting in a different
She's
position now.
yes, good. I love when I put Natalie in these situations.
I
Be
don't know
afraid.
what I would
Well,
do.
see, I think that's the scenario though. Like what you mentioned was like, I didn't raise you that way,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you look at some of these people that do the things that they've done. Some of them weren't even raised.
Mm.
Yes, exactly.
So
Hence my compassion.
So, okay, I'm gonna leave you alone over there. You just, I'm gonna leave it alone.
I'm sorry.
Ray hard rolled his eyes right now.
Man, I'm just
was
saying.
scared.
It's just,
It's like, what the fuck?
I'm gonna start talking about compassion.
on what next week's description on this episode, Ricky Lee defends R. Kelly. I just want to let you know that's
She has compassion.
low key. This is what you're coming at.
No, I don't condone her killing.
I didn't say
Look,
condone.
I think at the end of the day, I'm gonna have to hold him accountable though. Like, listen,
Well, yeah, for sure.
like you fucked up.
But
Right.
that's something that you do now, like right, like even
Yeah.
and in his infant stage right now, like, and people look at me like I'm fucking weird because I say things and I do things this way, but you got to teach a child how to be an adult, not an adult not to be a child.
That's always what I say. I'm trying to raise adults, not children.
So that would be like the little things you would do now. Like if he does something, he touches something he's not supposed to.
Right.
There's the accountability. Did you do that?
Right.
You know, if he says no, you're like, I saw you.
Yeah.
Like you teach them that it's okay that you did something wrong, and we could work on it. This way that they have some type of accountability later in life. Because
Yeah.
if as children you try to cover them up, it's okay. No, it's okay. They're just kids. No, it's okay. No, just leave them. It's all right. As they get older, they're still with that same mind process, and it's just like,
there's no consequence.
There's no consequence. So when they get older, then they start flipping out. Then they start having tantrums as adults because someone's telling them no. Yeah. So these are the things that the accountability is something that you would have to do at a very, very young age.
Establish it early.
Because you can't, once they get to a certain point, they're not gonna, and granted they do kind of, once they get to a certain age also, I remember like everything my mom taught me and a lot of the things that I've done in my life, it wasn't what my mom taught me. But the accountability part was like, look, you fucked up. You did something that you weren't supposed to fucking do. Yeah. Do it again or don't.
Right. You're gonna do whatever you're gonna do, but at the end of the day, you're gonna hear your mom.
You gotta have the accountability.
How did your mom feel about cartoons?
I don't know. My mom, I never really watched my mom or seen my mom watch cartoons or my mom. You know what? Actually, All My Children and Days of Our Lives.
The novelas.
My mom used to watch. Yeah, man. Sonny Corrento, man.
Hey, are they still on?
Yes.
Yeah, I know Days of Our Lives is still going.
Wow.
I think Susan Lucci was on to her deathbed.
Jesus Christ. I don't want to forget this hypothetical question that I was thinking about when Ray was saying what he was saying. Hypothetical situation. You have a daughter. She's 16 years old. You have a daughter right now and she's 16 years old. And you take her to a Bad Bunny concert. Yes, and girl. Everything's cool and he walks by and Bad Bunny kisses your 16-year-old daughter. Do you get mad and say, "Get your lips off my daughter, predator"?
I'm throwing his ass in the water like he did that phone.
Or do you say, "Come back and let me take a picture"?
No, why didn't you kiss me? I'm the eligible one. You fuckface.
Wow, Natalie.
Yeah. And then I would be upset.
And then Mike is gonna be back there, dude.
I mean, I wouldn't be upset because he didn't kiss me. I would be upset because he kissed her, and that's what. And she's
when
16.
you're standing there, when like, bro.
But so let me ask you this, right?
I don't go like that.
But he doesn't know, right?
Yeah.
Let's say she's wearing her makeup's on point. She doesn't really look 16, right? She looks cute.
Which sometimes
and right. That's what I'm saying. But so let's do this. He goes in for a nice. It wasn't anything crazy, right?
Yeah. A little peck.
Natalie slides right in there
and
intercepts it. Damn, tongue out? Okay.
But you look at your daughter. She's not mad at that at all.
She's not going to be.
She's glowing. She's like, "Oh my God." Like,
of course.
Happy. You're not going to, you're going to be pissed that happened?
It's the age.
He doesn't know that. She looks older.
Okay, but who the fuck goes around just kissing people? If it wasn't Bad Bunny.
Brian Brandon.
McKinnon.
Stop.
You gave him 2 first names? Brian Brandon?
Well, that's because he was Brian and Brandon.
No, but we were calling him Brandon Brian last week.
Yeah. But no, so who does that just in general?
Yeah.
That does, just because you're Bad Bunny doesn't give you the right to just go around and kiss someone that you think is beautiful.
Right. That's true. Power trip.
So side cheek would be appropriate. None
of it, bro. You'd have to approach the person, and it's kind of like if I'm living the single life, right? And I see you two at the club and I'm like, yo, I want to talk to one of them. I'm not going to disregard the other one. I'm going to make myself present in front of that one so that the one that I'm not interested in doesn't feel like I'm not interested in her. Just, you got to put them at that equal level. It's a respect thing.
I love all of that you said. And it also reminded me about if you're at a club and you see us both or whatever. I had a really awkward situation last night because
it wasn't with the guitarist.
No, I was waiting for Hector to close out because I was gonna catch a ride back with him. So I was there until lights, house lights are on. They're cleaning up. The only people that are there was Hector, the 2 bartenders, myself, and before the 2 girls that I was with before they left, a guy came, sat down next to us to talk to us. Well, they leave. He stayed and he was sitting there talking to me. Right? Tells me that, he's from the military. Cool guy. Harrison Ray is his name. All of a sudden, he says, "I really like your ears." Oh. Now, remember, I've been drinking a lot. Okay? So I'm like, I like my ears too. And then we start talking. We start talking about language and we get into this really good conversation. All of a sudden, his hand is on my ear. It's feeling my ear. And I'm like, whoa, boundaries. Harrison Ray grabbing my ear. It was weird.
Rickie was. I hope you were trying to go into. You should have said this earlier. This conversation.
It was a crazy ass day yesterday.
Wait. So what happened? Did you get his number?
No.
No, that'd be weird. But
no.
that is
No.
really
Okay,
weird.
but see, watch this. He's 25 and thought I was 28. Oldest. Like, he was like, well, how old are you? I was like, I'm about to be 42. And that was before the ear
touching your ear.
He was handsome. Don't get me wrong. Like,
all right, Harrison Ray, make yourself known.
At least you're all of age.
yeah.
Honestly, yes. But what? That was weird.
Ears? Imagine if you had a foot fetish and like you're just sitting there and you took your socks and your shoes
He
off.
has an ear fetish. Clearly, he went in for the ear.
That's weird.
Now I can't stop looking at your ears. Sorry, now I'm like looking at your
I
ears.
like ears. I got a thing for ears too. Though.
Really?
That's why I was kind of like, this is really
this
weird
is
that he's grabbing my ear.
interesting.
Yeah, no, for real. But I think I had these really nice earrings on, so I thought that maybe it's because yeah.
I think what we're gonna have to do now, before every episode,
Yeah.
we're just have to like walk by and
Check
Touch
the
my
ear
ear.
situation.
do a little ear check on Rickie.
Yeah.
Like, what is it?
Yeah.
Are they soft?
Yeah.
Do you moist?
No, ever since my mom says like since I was a baby, like
People
whoever
like your
was
ears?
whoever was putting me to sleep, I was grabbing their ears and I would use it to fall asleep. The one person who would never let me touch his ears though. So obviously with my mom when I was a kid, and then my grandparents, my brother, I could not go near his ears.
When you probably traumatized him.
I don't think you
I
can
did.
I don't think you can go near your brother.
That's true too.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
Like if you leaned in and
that's
hugged
okay.
you, he'd be like,
Ew. Yeah.
The
like,
motor hug.
Yeah, the little
Yeah.
tap. It's not a
And
full.
plus, you guys are siblings.
It's not a full.
You're
I don't hug my
girls.
sister. I mean, she'll hug me like she always comes and she wants to give me a line. I feel bad, but like after like once I became a teen, like I just distanced myself from all that.
We need to hug more. There's
I
a
agree.
study that says that the person should receive 8 hugs a day. If you hug 8 people a day, that is good for your soul. Like
Wait,
you should practice it.
You have to give 8 hugs or you have to receive 8 hugs.
You have to hug because whether you're giving
giver,
it or
the
receiving
receiver?
it, just make sure you hug.
So
8
there's like
times.
some type of like energy release.
Hugging is a very intimate thing for me. Because you
Yeah,
are
and you don't hug everybody.
I don't hug everybody, but I want to start hugging people. because no.
You know what? I'm gonna call you out. You're gonna have to stop leaving my house without giving me a hug. This girl walks out of my house and I'm like, okay, not a bye or
You
like
know
can
what?
I not?
That's funny that you say that because I kind of knew this about Natalie after the first time I ever met her. So the first time Mike ever introduced me to Natalie was at Mi Vida, and I think Severe was doing like a
That was the
live.
first time you guys met.
I think
And Mike was like, "Oh, here, let me introduce you to my." Were you guys married at the time?
No.
No, you weren't married.
so. We must have been just married at
Yeah,
that
I
time,
think
or
so.
about to be, because if
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
me
you're right.
out, it was that year.
Yeah,
in
it
the
was.
pandemic.
I think it was you because you guys got married in the summer, right? Yeah, I think you guys just got married, and he was just like, "Let me introduce you to my wife," and I was like, "Okay, go up," and he's introducing us, and I put my hand out, and Natalie's like, "Nope, we hug around here."
Yeah, I'm a hugger. That's usually me. Whenever I meet someone new, I'm like, oh, I hug. And I hug
Yeah.
them.
I was just like, "Oh, okay."
And you know where that came from? And so let me ask you guys this. What about hugging in the workplace? Is that a boundary we don't cross? I
mean, I work
I
with
would-
nothing but men, so
then,
sometimes I'll hug.
well,
There's a homie that I hug, like it's because he likes to make people feel uncomfortable.
Okay, so
But
Oh,
for
intentionally?
But for some reason, he won't do it to me, right?
Oh, okay.
So I fuck with him.
It's because you didn't watch cartoons as a child. That's why he doesn't do it to you.
It's probably because he's as old as he is and still watches cartoons. But he won't try to like make me uncomfortable. And
Okay.
every time he tries to,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, he doesn't want to cross that boundary.
because he knows I could come back with it, you know.
Okay.
So he's just like,
Okay. Okay.
So there's been times where like we cut on opposite ends of the shop, right? Catty corner to each other.
Okay.
So he'll do something like when we're just kicking it and there's like nobody around, right? I'm like, oh, you think that's funny? Watch this. So I'll do something like that will incorporate everybody within the
shit.
shop to make him uncomfortable, and all of a
Jesus,
sudden
right.
she's like, poof. Speaking of ears, they turn red.
Oh, so
Like
he
his
gets really
whole
embarrassed.
his whole demeanor just like.
He stiffens up.
Really?
Poor guy. Okay, I don't do that to him.
But I say this because he'll say bye to everybody. It's like no, bring it in, bro. Give me a hug.
Yeah. Let's bring it in for a hug.
And
So
I'll do it in front of some of his clients too. Like if I'm about to dip out, like yeah, all right,
I bet
dap
you
everybody, and then with him, I'm like,
Give me a hug.
can I grab a cheek?
I bet you he needs those hugs though.
Maybe he needs a hug.
I think he does need
I
those
don't know.
hugs.
From a man?
Yeah.
Nah, he needs a hug from his wife.
So,
That's
when I used to work at Bank of America, we had a regional manager that would come in maybe once or twice a month, and he was a just big built guy and just very massive, but he was such a bear, like just so gentle giant, I call him. But he would go to every single person. It didn't matter if it was a male, a female.
He didn't
married.
discriminate.
He hugged everyone, and not only did he hug them, but he made sure that it was the 8-second hug. So we would hug that long.
Like there was an actual embrace.
There wasn't. Yes.
Oh no, you're talking
yes.
about something different. I read
In a
something
workplace.
about that too. Wait, the
In the
8-second hug is only for the workplace?
No, I'm saying that
That's what
this
he was
man
doing
was
in the
doing
workplace.
in the workplace.
Every single hug?
Yes. Every hug was
How
intentional.
many people were there?
Oh, about 15 people.
That's a fucking lot.
So,
of
and he
hugging.
would
That's
go
a couple
in.
minutes.
He would go in, and that's how he would greet everyone.
That's cool.
I would accept
So-
it.
Oh, everyone
Well, yeah,
had to. He
the
was
way
not.
the way she described him, I would assume you would accept it.
I would
He was.
accept that.
Yeah, you would not like no, bro.
But to your point, how I leave your house without hugging you,
Yeah.
apparently it's a thing that I've come to observe about myself. I'm really not good at saying goodbye
You're not.
or parting with people.
She told me 3 days after we ended one of the episodes. Bye.
He's not lying. I was like, I realized you left and I didn't say goodbye. I can't.
Literally, like
So, like, what happens in your mind?
Like,
Is it you
today's
just like, all right, I
Friday.
gotta go, or I'm just leaving.
Monday morning, she was like, "Hey,
Hey.
I didn't tell you bye on Friday. I'm sorry." I was like, "It's cool."
I think
Don't worry, I just cried about it all weekend, but I'm okay now.
because I look at it just like
You know what we're gonna do from now on?
I'm
Natalie?
gonna see you again.
We're just gonna wait.
Yeah,
Fuck
so, like, guess
We're just gonna stand outside her window.
yeah, just
And
Like
like-
this.
Bitch,
like,
I've been waiting.
just follow her.
yeah.
Get to the car and stand outside her car window and just like
I'm gonna
Yeah.
work on that. No,
Yeah.
legit.
I
Because
mean, you know what? I do it because everything complete opposite of what you just said. Because I don't know if I'm gonna see you again. I don't know if a car's gonna hit me on my way home. Might
That's
be the
true.
last time we see each other.
I hate thinking about that.
But it's the truth.
It is the truth.
Dang, I just went kind of dark there.
no. That's not dark. That's OTF.
It is OTF. Hugging is important. When I lost my keys a couple of weeks ago, where I really needed hugs, I got a hug from a complete stranger.
Oh.
And I
Oh,
needed
that was a
it.
good story.
That was a good story. I hated my life. But after that, my coworker that was with me, who stayed with me the whole night,
Mm-hmm.
she was such a good listener.
Yeah.
Also, great hug. She was an incredible human being to me.
Mm.
I find out a week later that her dad was dying. In those days,
Yeah.
he
that
was
you
going
were-
through hospice. And I was like, why didn't you tell? Like, Jesus,
Yeah.
why didn't you tell me?
So you think in that time framing of her giving you that hug, she was like embracing your hug too.
Yeah,
Mm.
100%. So now, and I found out she lives right around the corner from me too.
Oh.
Now, every time we see each other, because we both acknowledge that we need a hug more. You never know when a person really needs it or when you need it and you didn't know you needed it.
Yeah.
So we make it a point to try to hug each other every time we see it, because we also acknowledge that it's kind of uncomfortable sometimes.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, but
Yeah.
you got to do it because you're
Yeah.
right. You don't know when you're going to see people. So I'm going to practice.
Who's the best hugger that you had?
I
And
would,
it doesn't have to be obviously romantic, but just in general. Like who's the person that
Gives
when
good
they
hugs.
gave you that hug, you're just like you melted because everything just went.
So I didn't think about the melting part, but my uncle Oscar, and I don't even see him that often, but he's, out of all my uncles, he's a very spiritual, very down to earth, very in tune with his energy and himself and just mindful. He's always given, besides having great conversations with him, which I think is what leads up to the hugging, he's a great hugger. And I feel safe and I feel loved. And I feel like, you know, his comfort. It's a genuine, he's the best. And I got to go see him. But those hugs mean a lot from him. And then recently, I had a single time hug with somebody and it was wonderful. It was needed. It was, so much was said with an embrace.
Yeah. Yeah.
So much was said with an embrace. So hugging is a wonderful thing.
What about you?
I can't think of any good huggers.
Damn.
I haven't had a good hug. You know what I get all the time? I get these fucking side hugs. What is that?
Why don't you be the hug promoter?
I am the hug promoter.
And do like little videos.
We should get you a shirt that says "Hug Me."
Yeah.
No, never mind. After we just talked about weirdos, never mind.
Yes.
Forget that I said
weird
that.
interactions either.
Come here.
Let me hug you. But there's a have you seen there's a guy on Instagram that has made his following on that. He goes out and then he blindfolds himself and then he puts
That's
like
weird.
a poster out and he says, if you need a hug, I'm giving free hugs or some shit like that.
And he's blindfolded?
And because I think it's like it's almost like a depression experiment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like because the thing is, you don't know that person,
Right.
but sometimes you're going through so much that even the people you do know, you wouldn't allow them to
Hug you
like that.
So it's supposed to be like you can feel safe with me doing
like
this.
there's no judgment to, or just
like
if
that.
you just need it. And there's been I remember those videos. There's been some people that like go full on Ricky Lee meltdown.
Yeah, people start crying. I really needed that, and then they start explaining like what's happening.
And
in
there's
their
been
life.
men like go up to him and they'll give him a hug, and he does that. Like it's an actual embrace. It's not just like come hug me and I'm standing still. Like he's actually embracing them back.
Yeah.
And there's been men that's broken down in his arms.
Do you guys think that you kind of have to feel a hug out as it's going? So when you first go in with a hug with someone, because if I were hugging myself, it'd be a little stiff at first until I knew where I was going, and then I would loosen and then hug
That's how I hug my wife.
Jesus,
A little stiff at first, and then.
But when
That's what she said. I don't know where this podcast is going anymore.
Sorry, Samantha. Rochelle.
But you know what I'm saying? Like when you're hugging someone and then you kind of feel them relax a little bit more, or maybe like accepting or in a position of receiving where it didn't necessarily start out that way.
Yeah. I mean, I do get people that I'll hug them and then they like,
Yeah,
they'll
what
do
if
the
they
hug
hold
and then they pull back.
Or what if they hang on for a little bit? Then you're like, oh, I got to hold on now too?
Well, if you're a hugger, you know what that is.
You know what? I make people
Hold
like
on.
people will like kind of wiggle away. No, we're hugging again. Or sometimes I'll do like, let's hug again. Let's do that
is
again.
that part of like your workout? Like I gotta get these. I gotta
Gotta
get that
get
good
these
squeeze
buffs.
in.
So
Yeah,
if you
buffness.
don't like that, I don't ever say goodbye. How come you don't pressure me with hugs?
I'm
'Cause-
pressuring you now. But you know what? And I don't pressure you with hugs because you're already walking out the door.
You do
I'm
walk kind of
fast.
fast. Those little ass feet move.
I'm fast.
And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll see you soon.
It's actually something very rude that I do, and I need to stop freaking out.
You know what's funny is I think I've told you that my son used to do the same thing. Like he doesn't know how to like
Depart.
right?
Yeah, it's weird.
And when he was 2nd or 3rd grade, it was raining, and he always had his little umbrella, and he was walking this little girl with his umbrella, and she was walking with him,
Sweet.
and they're just talking, getting ready to leave, and then when he makes eye contact with me, he just drifts into my direction, and that little girl's walking, feels the rain, and she looks up like,
Where'd you go?
he didn't say bye, he didn't say any of that.
Oh,
like my son
no.
is the same way. He won't say.
Bye.
I'm afraid to depart. Like I'm still gonna see you. I don't wanna come to the reality or terms that I may not see you and something might happen to one, and that's denial. I don't want to think about that.
Yeah, but
I'm gonna see you tomorrow.
But
like it's all
so
good.
do you think
Sure.
if something ever happened to that person, you wouldn't kick yourself in the ass for not saying bye?
No, because I wouldn't base our entire relationship on my departures. I would base all of our relationship. Yeah, I would feel shitty if it was just bad in general, but
Right.
not necessarily that specific to the hugging part or departing
No, well,
part.
because like a lot of people, like when people close to them, they pass away.
Mm-hmm.
There's usually like that point where it's like
I didn't even get to
I
say
didn't get
bye.
to say goodbye to him.
I didn't even do this. There's some kind of regret that they go
get what I'm
through
saying?
that
I
process.
think the only person I would feel that way with is my dad. With him, which is weird because we're gonna die. I know he's gonna die, but I think it will be like, oh, I wish I would have done more with my dad, or I know for a fact I will have those types of regrets with
It's
his dad.
like a different type of closure.
Yes, I know that yes.
Yeah, I would agree on my end too. Probably with my parents, not just with my dad. Be like,
Which is dumb
I would
because
have done this, should have done this, should have done that.
We're both admitting it, right?
Are we
Are we gonna do anything about it? Because we've known this.
Oh, wait. I had a moment this week. Can I share?
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of parental figures. So we had this conversation last week about me being the bridge and all of that, right? So I don't know if the podcast knows, but so my mom was in a long committed relationship with her now ex, right? And they broke up maybe, I think at the beginning of the pandemic or somewhere along those lines. And when he left, I mean, he had been in our lives for, I want to say
a minute,
12 plus years, maybe 15.
That's significant.
A long time. So they broke up, and when he left, I mean, he just left. He didn't say bye. He didn't say sorry. He didn't say nothing. And not that I was expecting any of that. And to be honest, I didn't really even process him leaving because I think rightfully so, right? Everyone's going through the pandemic, so my mind is somewhere else.
Yeah.
So when he leaves, I'm like, oh, well, that fucking sucks. Well, Mom, you know what? It's okay. You can do better. You can do whatever. You know, just he was a good person. He did a lot for us, and all right, bye. But we didn't say goodbye to him. There was no text. There was no conversation. There was no nothing. So one day my mom just wakes up and she calls and she goes, well, you know, this guy left. I don't want to say his name. He leaves. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Okay. Well, during the week, I'm thinking about, like, you know, the men in my life and, like, what's going on and why am I the way that I am. So I decided, I don't know, my mom and I went to Porto's during the week. And somehow he came up and I was like, you know, Mom, I've been thinking about him a lot. And I keep wanting to send him a message, but I don't know if it's the right thing to do. I don't want to stir the pot. I don't know, like, what do you think? Not really expecting that she would say, no, forget it. And she's like, you know what, Natalie, just send him a message. You know, he was a part of our life, blah, blah, blah. So I send him the message. I'm like, hey, you know, I'm thinking about you and I hope that you're okay. And I told him, because he loved me and he loved Mike too. I just wanted to share that, you know, Mike and I got married and we had a baby and I wanted to share some pictures of the baby with you. Oh. So I sent him I'm going to cry. So I sent him the pictures and then he didn't respond for a little bit. And then he responded as my mom and I were, you know, she's going home and then I'm going home. And I read it and she was still in the car with me and I started tearing up. I was like, no, I'm going to read this later. And I didn't want to share it with my mom because, of course, our feelings and, you know, I didn't want to be vulnerable in that moment with her. So I kept it to myself, but he said something along the lines of, first of all, I just want to apologize for what happened. And I didn't mean for it to go down the way that it did, meaning that he didn't say goodbye to us or anything like that. And he's like, I'm so happy that you guys remember me and congratulations to you and Mike. Take care of that beautiful baby. And so I just start bawling in tears and I was like, Mike, he texted back. He does love us. So I had like a whole moment of this was good.
I have so many questions.
Okay, what was your first one?
First thing I noticed was your mom tells you that this happened and your immediate response to your mom was, fuck that guy. After you just acknowledged that for the past 15 years he was good to you guys. Like he was, and you didn't even know what happened. You had no clue what happened. But your immediate thing was to tell your mom, fuck that dude, you could do better.
Well, initially, yeah, because I don't know.
Isn't that stirring the pot?
Well, on my end, she's my mom, and I'm being protective, and I'm always going to take my mom's side, so
do you think
he's the one that left.
Do you think she would take it as you being protective?
Yeah. I think so. All right. Yeah, I think so.
Do you think he just your mom didn't approach like your question in a way that you assumed it was gonna happen, right? Like you didn't think she was gonna be like, oh, hit him up, right? You thought it was gonna be the opposite.
Yeah, I did think she's like, no, don't do that. It's okay.
That probably
It's
speaks
the
to
past.
the level of where their relationship was and how much she had respect for him.
Yes.
Which
Yeah.
at the same time shows her growth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because given if any of the viewers and listeners has ever heard your story from
right.
prior
Previous
episodes,
yeah.
then they would know, like, I don't think any of us would have thought that your mom would have reacted
Would
that
have
way
reacted that way. Yeah.
Which
That is good.
goes
growth.
back to you saying, like, you are that
The
bridge.
Yeah.
Because she's probably never been asked that, and you asked her that question, and she was just like,
yeah. Go
yeah,
ahead.
you know what? Go ahead. I'm not mad about it.
Yeah. Yeah. He was a good person. He did.
Because
he
you
did
never
right
know,
by
like
us.
their relationship probably didn't even end on a bad note. They just
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
We don't know the
Exactly.
and we don't need to know. Like you kind of
No.
technically don't
you
need
think
to know.
Yeah.
do you think if it was on a bad note, your mom would have told you?
Yes.
So
I think she would have been pretty vocal
that,
about it.
Yeah, because for that, I think it'd
that's
be
good
like,
then.
like okay, he didn't fuck up, but he for sure.
It was just,
'Cause
everything
you're-
has its time.
It was time.
And your
It was time.
emotion to being as excited as you were for him responding,
Yeah.
I could only imagine what his response was when he seen you
Yes.
send that information
yeah.
and the pictures, like
Yeah.
Moment of joy.
his heart or his like everything just fucking stopped for him in that
I
moment.
think so. I think you're right. Absolutely. I mean, if I had a whole moment reading the text message and I didn't think that I was,
Because I could imagine like now I gotta.
and he didn't respond right away, but
Like-
he has to respond.
Well, it seemed like he responded in a way where
It was thoughtful.
he had to humble himself before
Yeah.
he could.
Yeah.
And actually apologize for
Yeah.
going out the way he did.
Yeah.
And some men don't do that.
Right.
A lot of men don't do that. They won't acknowledge
Admit.
what they've done and what it could have possibly have done to you psychologically. Because I don't know how close he was to you, but if you're saying he really liked you and Mike, and
Yeah.
so I'm sure your guys' relationship. So even with that and your sister, like he probably in the back of his head's like, "Fuck, they hate me," and all
Yeah.
this time he's probably thinking that,
Damn.
Yeah.
and you just sent him that, and his whole world fucking stopped.
Yeah.
Like it was
I'm
probably
glad
like
you did that.
yeah.
I'm glad the way the whole conversation went. And that's all I feel like, all right, you know what?
It was like a virtual hug.
Yes.
It was a big virtual hug.
That's dope.
I was so happy. You have no idea. It changed my whole life.
So if he's gonna want to keep in touch with you, are you gonna keep in touch with him?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's
But
good.
what if your mom
Absolutely.
tells you not to?
What if it makes her uncomfortable?
Like, there would
Don't
be.
make me decide this right now. I just got this text. I'm happy.
All right, then I won't even ask. I won't even ask my next question. We'll move on.
It was just a really good
That's
moment for
dope,
me.
though.
So yeah,
I'm proud of
That
you
was
for doing that.
yeah.
Because that's a very vulnerable moment too. Because what if he doesn't respond?
And that was my fear. And that's probably why I kind of tucked that away and didn't kind of acknowledge or process it or think about it, because I was like, oh, well, I'm not going to get into that.
Good for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I
You were there
appreciate that.
bridging it. Look at you. That was, man. That's
So,
good.
I don't know.
We're gonna have a hug note. Vinny says that. I like this. You are on notice for hugs, Rickie. It takes a team and a village to improve something. Sometimes, so
Drastically.
sometimes it has to be drastic.
Drastically.
Did you just hug yourself?
Yeah.
But we're not going to talk about anybody being on notice for hugs if we can't physically do it to someone that
Only exists in Twitter.
on Twitter or Twitch.
Yeah, Vinny Code. What the hell?
He's a mystery. He's a mystery. And I'm also glad, Cynthia, we made her cry. You
Aw.
see? I consider that a success.
Yes.
When someone cries.
Yes. We did it.
Thing. It's a good thing.
Now we can close the show.
Yes.
All right. Well,
We
this
got
was
hugs. We got tears.
yeah, this was
R. Kelly.
good. This was a good episode.
Rickie Lee defends R. Kelly.
Rickie. I mean, I'm not gonna say anything until I watch the documentary, but
I'm gonna watch it again too.
I think I know where you were trying to go with it, but it had nothing to do with it. I think you took that moment and his moment, and that was it. But
that was it, right?
But
it doesn't relate to anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there were different outcomes with all of that.
we're gonna have to have a separate episode just talk about R. Kelly.
Nah, fuck that. We ain't gotta do all that.
We already kind of did, so we might as well just wrap it up, okay? Like, get all of our feelings out and dedicate one episode. It'll be separate. Oh, I'm gonna share something, but let's wrap up this show. Today's episode was produced live by Raymond Andrew at Rose City Sound, with your host, myself. I'm Natalie.
I'm the person who likes her ears touched
And avoids hugs.
and avoids hugs.
For inquiries, topics, sponsorships, please email us on this frequency at gmail.com. On This Frequency is available where all podcasts can be streamed. Watch a live stream recording every Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Twitch at twitch.tv/On This Frequency. You can watch us on YouTube and be sure to hit the subscribe button to be notified whenever upload. Sorry, I'm running out of breath. Whenever we upload new episodes, it's just been the tone of this episode.
I'm leaving all of that in there, by the way.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. You can always support the On This Frequency team by buying us some coffee. You can send us your donation at buymeacoffee.com/On This Frequency. We would appreciate it, and we love you guys very much for doing so. Keep in touch with us on Instagram and Twitter. Our handle is simply at On This Frequency.
Vénganse. Vamos a jugar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a cantar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a llorar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a fumar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a jugar.